Hey everyone, I'm Nate.
And I'm Abby.
This little guy's Popeye, and we are the RC Sailors. We're at the airfield today to have some fun from a very highly requested...
Let me down, Dad.
Okay. Very highly requested drone from you guys, the Bugs 3H. If you're unfamiliar with the Bugs 3, you must be new to the channel and the hobby. You should have one of these. But now they've got the upgraded version, we'll call it, with altitude hold and a couple other features that we're going to talk about. Now you can probably hear it, but Abby, get a shot of the windsock there. It's windy. And normally on a day like today, I would not come out here with our toy crate drones and test anything, but I'm extremely confident in the ability of this to fly. You know, I'll talk about the features and things that I'm excited about as we go along. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and unbox this. I'll show you the things that come in the box really quickly, and then we'll fly it and Popeye will chase and we'll have a good time.
He was peeing.
This is just gonna be a good day. In the underneath section here is your transmitter, so don't forget about that. We have instructions and stickers, and lots of them. A cool little diagram under there that shows you the functions of every button. And then they do a great job of packaging this. We'll have it linked in the description box below. The good news is this is not much more expensive than a standard Bugs. Now there's pros and cons to each, but before I even fly this, I'm extremely confident in its ability to do what it's supposed to do, and I have no hesitation to tell you guys to go ahead and pull the trigger on this, but I want to show you what it can do before you go hit buy, because you're going to want to buy this after you see it in action. Now, if you don't want this, by the end of the video you should have made a decision to add one of these two to your collection, so we'll link both of them up in the description box below. The functionality of this new one, the Bugs 3H, is a little bit higher. We have
so the one with the eyeballs is the old version.
Yes.
This one without the eyeballs is the new, or old, new.
Old over here, new here. Now we have included prop guards. I would highly recommend a new pilot to use these for safety of yourself, surrounding people, things, and the drone itself. But we've flown a lot, so I'm not going to fly with those on. And that's everything in the box. You can buy a camera version of this. I opted out of their camera versions that they have. They have a 720p and a 1080p version, but I wanted to just use my own action cam. Why not? You know, save a little bit of money. You get your 4 props that are not mounted on it just for shipping to keep it smaller. And then in this bag you have 4 extra props. The beauty of this is that it uses the same props as the Bugs 3, so prop and spare part availability is there. It's on Amazon, it's on GearBest, it's on Banggood, it's on all these websites, all the spare parts. Tons of people sell this stuff, so spare part availability is there. We're going to talk about batteries and things too. Now, you have the option to put these landing gear on, and what they do is they raise the drone about this high. Okay, so the size difference there you can see with me holding it up. When you mount your camera underneath, you would want these, most people would, but in our case I'm going to fly without the landing gear. I always do, it's just kind of what I do. And then you also get this. This is an action cam mount, and you should be able to mount up their cameras with this and just any GoPro style camera, and as you can see it fits right in, and then this just snaps into the bottom.
That's just a random Turnigy camera.
Just a Turnigy 2K action cam. It's going to be a little bit vibraty. They added some foam, but it's not going to look perfect. It's just for fun if you want to put a camera on your drone. Now the stuff that sets this apart would be really within the transmitter, because what we have here are options to do more than what we can do on the Bugs 3. The white one is from the original Bugs 3. This drone has been out now for years and it's still an amazing drone. You should absolutely add one to your collection, but you might decide, if you don't have the Bugs 3, or if you do, to add this new Bugs 3H to your collection. This one is very nice, but as you can see here, there's no altitude hold because that's not spring loaded. On the Bugs 3H we have altitude hold, so this is much more beginner friendly. You don't have to worry about throttle management So if you're a type of person that just can't get that down, or you're new to drones, you might want to pick one of these up. The beauty of this is you're not limited to just altitude hold. You can throw this switch, boom, and now the spring loadedness is gone and you have throttle management. Now, some people are going to love this, some people are going to be scared when I say this, but when I throw that switch into the 1 position, we have acro mode. I'm excited to try that. I'm very excited to do some flips with this. Throw it back down, spring loaded altitude hold. On off switch here, we have trims. We can turn the lights on and off. There's motor lock and unlock, high and low rates, camera. That's just a light there on the front. But if you buy their camera version, it's going to be an action cam, just like what we've added on there. It's not replaced with a 5.8 gigahertz cam on the front or something. It's a Wi-Fi camera. And then you have the camera function on the transmitter. Then on the back, we have 2 buttons, but only 1 functions, the L1. That's your flip. Oh, he's getting excited. That's your flip button if you're in altitude hold mode. So it's a simple layout, things are labeled, and I love that. Let's talk about the battery and then we'll fly this. As you can see there, what I did, the battery fits in the back and it's very snug. It has an XT30 connection on there with an XT30 outlet on the back of the drone. It just plugs right in. And a balance port because it's 2 cell. This is an 1800 milliamp Lipo battery, 7.4 volts. And guys, this is super common. You can buy these just third party, you can buy theirs for a fairly reasonable price, and you're gonna get about a 12 to 15 minute flight time with these. The beauty is, why didn't I bring it? I thought I did. I'll show you. I even charged this. I thought I brought it.
You forgot the last battery?
Yeah, I charged it, but
it uses the same battery as
same
the
exact
old
battery.
3.
Same exact battery. So if you, let's say you have the Bugs 3 and you're like, man, I don't want to buy new Bugs. I'm gonna have to buy 6 new batteries. I already got 6 batteries for it. Hey, it'll come with a fresh battery and it uses the same ones as your Bugs 3. So let's put this in the air, see how it does compared to our old, basically one of our favorite drones ever. I'm excited, and I know you guys are too. One last thing, the canopy here on top, this one is actually screwed on, so you need to take out 4 Phillips screws with the included Phillips screwdriver if you want to access underneath, which is going to look very similar to this, but this one has snaps. I'm guessing most people must have complained about this canopy popping off or something because they decided now later as their upgraded version to do 4 screws instead of the snaps. So maybe that might have popped off for people in crashes, got loose or something. I don't know. It's never been a problem for me, but they decided, MJX did, to do 4 screws. I think it looks great. I'm so excited to fly this. Let's fly it. All right, Popeye's gonna help me show you guys how to bind this up for the first time because it is a little confusing and a lot of people that get this for the very first time think that something is broken, but it's not. So when you first get your drone, you have to plug in the battery. This is only the first time. Then,
Keep your dog away.
Make sure your dog's away. You hold in the red lock button
Make sure
and turn on your transmitter while holding that.
Oh, you're in trouble.
From then on, all you have to do is press the lock button to start the motors, and then you press and hold to stop the motors for about 2 seconds. I'm gonna give it a little bit of throttle and then let Popeye go. He'll bark and go crazy and have some fun, so here we go. Get a little lower so we can see Pops chasing. He loves this hobby, loves chasing drones, coming to the field and having fun with us. Now let's talk about the drone. I gave it a little bit of throttle. All right, sorry buddy, I'm gonna fly above you now. Gave the drone a little throttle, and now I'm not touching the throttle at all. You can probably still hear the wind, so I am having to give it some input on the right stick just to make sure we stay in place and don't blow away in the wind. If I don't, here's what happens. That's how much the wind can affect your drone when you don't have a GPS. So until you are very confident in your ability to fly in the wind, don't do it. The drone is very capable of flying in the wind, but just make sure you are before you take to the skies and it's not calm. I recommend going out in the early morning or late evening to fly when there's very little to no wind. So it's flying really well, guys. I should point out that this drone, the Bugs 3H, uses the same motors as the Bugs 3. The only difference in the onboard setup is that this has an all-in-one ESC flight control board, whereas the old Bugs 3 has individual independent ESCs that you can replace. That can be a good thing and a bad thing depending on if and when something breaks or burns up. So hopefully that's an improvement. That might have actually saved us some weight on this. That could be a big improvement as far as shedding a little bit of weight goes. All right, so it's flying really well. I'm just cruising along nice and slow. I chose not to put the camera on yet just to see how it flies without it, because I do want to do some flips in acro mode.
Acro, yeah,
yes, but it's flying really well. It's flying really well. So this is me just kind of pushing the sticks as far as they'll go in the low rate. See how fast I can get it to fly here. Nice and kind of a cruising speed. That's as fast as I can get it to go into the wind. So let's go to the high rate. Okay, now we're in the higher rate, and
in altitude hold mode.
In altitude hold mode, of course. It's definitely much snappier. It's a very noticeable difference on the pitch.
How does this fly in this mode compared to the regular Bugs 3?
Well, great. I don't have to worry about throttle so much.
Seems like it's just as zippy.
Just as zippy. Guys, this really is, so that I can tell so far, just the Bugs 3 with altitude hold. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. This is awesome.
That's what I've never said buy this as your first quad unless you're really, really confident.
Let's do a flip.
But now I think we can finally say this could be your first quad.
Press and hold the flip button on the back, pick a direction. This is great. Okay, well, I'm curious, and I think you guys are too, to see acro mode, and then we'll slap a camera on and see how it does flying with the camera. So I'm going to throw the switch, and we should be in full acro. I don't think so. You know, I thought that this would just take altitude hold off. Somebody that I watched on YouTube, I'm not going to name any names, said that this was acro mode. It's wrong. It is not acro mode, unless there's a way to take that off, but I don't think so. No, that was totally wrong. So to those of you that watched that video and you thought the same thing, it is not. That's okay. I'm not going to focus on that.
Back to being a Bugs 3, right?
It's just a Bugs 3.
That's what I thought too.
Now
when
it's
you
just a Bugs 3.
Mode, I was like, what?
I know, yeah, no, that's totally wrong. Okay, so now we just have a Bugs 3 without altitude hold.
You know how bad that would throw off a beginner?
Yeah, I was a little excited for that, but I thought that seemed...
I would think it would need like 3 modes or something, you know?
Okay, well, we can't truly get a feel for this drone until you have flown it, so I know that this can carry a GoPro and
Why
stuff.
don't you just put it back in altitude hold mode and we can just pass it off.
Okay.
Although I just lost you.
I'm on the ground here. So I'm back in altitude hold mode. It popped up there. And I'm gonna go left some because the wind is pushing it to the right. I'm gonna pass the controls to you. And Abby's at the drone controls and I'm at the camera now, so let's get a little shaky footage going on for everybody.
So they'll believe it.
Yeah.
What do you think, buddy? You ready to take?
Popeye? He loves being up at the field. Abby is at the controls. We love the Bugs 3 for a couple big reasons. It's got an amazing flight time. Its performance is awesome. It's powerful. It's quiet. It's just fun to fly, and it's a very beginner-friendly drone in a sense that it's not a race drone. It's a big step in the right direction to race drones, away from GPS drones, but not quite there yet. You've got the brushless motors as opposed to brushed geared motors. These are direct driven, which means you're going to have a much longer lifetime. There's just pretty much no hands showing you the throttle. Look at that baby bump. Go for it again, Abby. What? No throttle. Fly with one hand.
I have been flying.
Yeah, it's one hand. It's doing good. Yeah, you're doing good. So that's how easy it is to fly. You could essentially fly with no hands if there was no wind. So keep that in mind if you're a beginner, that you just have to fly in the calm, calm weather until you're used to flying. Now, brushless motors, I think 99% of people will tell you this, most of the time they're going to last longer and just perform better for longer than a brushed motor. And that's very true. Sometimes on trucks we want to see a brushed motor if you're a crawler, but most of the time that's about it. So you got your brushless motor set up just like the other Bugs 3.
That still zips.
Oh yeah, look at you go, look at you go.
I'm guessing that's still in high mode.
Probably, I did not take it out of high mode.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
I'm happy.
So excited that this has altitude hold now, because that opens the door up to
everybody. A lot of people do ask us what would be a good beginner drone, and we really want to recommend the Bugs 3. And sometimes we do. We say, okay, are you a serious gamer? Yeah. If so, go with the Bugs 3. Have you ever flown a plane or a drone before? If so, go with the Bugs 3. But maybe get one that's $40 with altitude hold, brushed motors, and then buy the Bugs 3. Well, now we can tell people buy the Bugs 3H and fly with the altitude hold, and then take that off. He's right here to our left, Popeye is. Take the altitude hold off, and if you panic, throw your switch. Put the altitude hold back on. Now it doesn't have a GPS, so it's not going to return to home or anything, but that's not what this drone is about.
If you're looking for a GPS, what is it, the Bugs 2W and the Bugs 2 B2C? Yeah. Which flies basically just like these.
A little slower. Yeah. Can't do the flips and things.
I love this.
I like it a lot. Let's put a camera on just to show people that it's capable of carrying a GoPro.
I put it in low mode.
Wind has picked up a lot.
Yeah, the wind picked up, so it's a lot slower into the wind right now.
Now the drone, bring it in a little closer. You have been just a tiny gnat on the screen for like a couple minutes now. I know you're flying fast, so you want to fly farther away, but yeah, let's put the camera on. Again, guys, the drone itself is very capable of carrying a camera and flying in the wind. Just make sure your ability, like Abby here, she's doing it, but she probably needs to be in high rate.
I went back to the high rate because it was a little harder.
Yeah, I think you're good. Go ahead and land there away from Popeye. Let's put the camera on.
Nathan is going to do something that you should not do at home, because we didn't put on the landing gear because we want as long a flight as possible. So we just put the camera on, no landing gear. And again, that is just a camera. Popeye.
I was hoping to
filming him?
Yeah, record Popeye running.
That is just a camera we had sitting around at the house. It's not the camera. Where did you go? I can't see you.
I'm just over by that flag.
It's not the camera that you can purchase with the B3H. B3H.
Okay.
I'm getting fancy.
So I'm still flying altitude hold mode. Oh, jumped down a hair there. The wind is really...
It's picked up. It picked up when I was flying. It just pushes you to the right. This would be perfect and super solid if you could get this over the tree line.
I'm sorry, I'm having fun. I'm assuming the camera is on, but I couldn't see the screen because I popped a piece of foam in there.
So we could be just filming nothing.
Yeah. How's that for over the tree line?
That's better.
The camera angle can be adjusted. I tightened the screw down, I think as tight as I could get it. Let's just get a higher shot here. Okay, that's actually telemetry on our transmitter telling us that the battery is low. So let's go ahead and land it.
Well, that didn't last long.
Not with the camera,
Not with the camera.
I want to catch this.
I didn't get to see how long the last flight was. That was 10 minutes. Well, that's not bad. 11 minutes. Of course, the advertised flight time is going to be much lower the more weight you put on it. So when you add the landing gear, the prop guards, and a big camera like that, the flight time is gonna get cut a lot.
That's very much Popeye approved, obviously. He loved chasing that.
He's tired.
Now, I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't want to buy this. We love the Bugs 3, you know that.
Yep.
We've seen, that's Bugs
the original
that I showed you side by side with this one is my very first Bugs 3
ever.
The very first original. And I've had all kinds of alternatives. I've seen Amazon packages that come with the camera. I've seen different collars, all kinds of different setups, trying to do something a little different, different companies trying to sell it in different ways, and I always recommend them. But if you don't own a Bugs 3, now's your chance, because you can have a Bugs 3 with altitude hold. It's amazing. It's a powerful drone. It's a step in the right direction towards hobby grade. You absolutely need to add one of these to your collection. If you don't want to pay a tiny bit more to have the altitude hold function, then you can just fall back on the original Bugs 3. Guys, we'll have both of these linked in the description box below. Feel free to watch any and all of our other videos testing the original Bugs 3, but I'm so glad that we finally got our hands on and put on the channel the Bugs 3H. You guys have been asking, because let's be honest here. If it wasn't good, we would have told you.
Yeah.
And thousands of you know that. And so a lot of you guys have been waiting patiently for us to do this video.
Spoiler alert, we have other NJX products waiting to get on the channel.
Yes, we do.
We're super excited.
I'm very excited. We've got a lot of good stuff coming to the channel. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, it's easier for us to come up here and throw a toy grade drone in the air, and you guys know that too, than it is to do some hobby grade stuff. And with our busy lives, I work full-time, Abby works full-time, we got the weddings,
baby,
and just all kinds of stuff. Baby on the way, little pops, we're trying to remodel some of the house and stuff. It's just been crazy. So to get the good stuff on the channel has taken us a little bit more effort, a little bit more work, but this is just as easy as a toy grade drone, but on a hobby grade type of level with the brushless motors and just a much better setup.
2 thumbs up, right?
4 thumbs up.
If you don't own a Bugs 3 after this video, whether it's the Bugs 3 or the B3H,
buy one.
What's wrong with you?
Do yourself a favor, enjoy the hobby. Guys, there was a person, I apologize, I'm bad with names, I can't remember his name, but we hung out at RCS Fest quite a bit. An older gentleman, he came with a couple toy grade things that we had recommended, a Andromeda, Ominous, and some other thing I can't remember. And he loved them. And we had one of our Bugs 3 setups for sale there, and he bought it, he charged it, we flew it together for the first time, his maiden flight, and he fell in love with it. It was just night and day for him to see some of the problems you have with little brush motors stepping up to the power. He could just feel it, he was glowing, and I believe he even went to Flight Fest recently. He sent a picture, him and his wife. Sorry guys, I can't remember, I'm so bad at names.
And if you were wondering why we didn't go to Flight Fest, it's just because
busy.
Just too
busy.
much on our plates right now,
Yep.
and we just couldn't make it up.
And my dad and I were installing new electrical outlets and switches in the baby's room, so all kinds of stuff. We'll keep you guys updated on our vlog channel.
This month is the month to get stuff done for us.
It really is.
Flight Fest just didn't happen. We were super bummed though, but
so many of our friends were there. But we'll go to other RC events and probably Flight Fest again in the future, so no worries there. Just very busy. So anyway, 2 giant thumbs up for the Bugs 3H. If you've been waiting on our video, you've got our approval. Buy it and enjoy it, and it'll probably, as long as you don't crash it into a cement truck or something driving 80 miles an hour down the highway, it'll probably last you for years and years to come. Let us know what you think of it, pros and cons, in the comment section below. We do our best to read everything and our best to reply to comments as well. And if you buy one and fly it, please let me know how your flight experience goes. I love hearing those success stories, even the failures when you crash stuff into trees. It was in the tree for a week, and then I got it down a week later, and it still flew. Stuff like that, I just love it. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
bye!